What is up, fitness enthusiasts? Welcome back to my channel. And for this video, I am going to be bringing you through my shoulder and arm routine. So we're going to be hitting those delts, traps, hitting some biceps, some triceps. We're going to hit it hard. It's going to be a great one. So join along for this workout. We are going to get started with a shoulder warm-up for this one because I definitely need to warm up those shoulders before I lift. But yeah, so I will see you for the warm-up. So for this warm-up, I'm going to bring you through just a little shoulder complex. I'm not going to be using anything but these little 2.5 pound plates. Everything I do, so I'm going to be doing each different variation for a 2-second hold. It's going to be a 10 reps each. But yeah, so this is going to get those shoulders nice and fired up, get me ready for doing some overhead presses. Okay, so now that we have warmed up the shoulders, we're going to go on to our first shoulder exercise, which is going to be a seated barbell shoulder press. So with this one, I'm still going to warm up, but my back is pressed to the bench. My feet are planted. Grip that bar. I like to go through a full range of motion. Bring it right down to my collarbone and then press it back up. So I'll show you one of my sets for my actual working sets. So I'm going to just kind of work up and wait, and then I'll show you what I'm going to be doing for my actual working sets. Okay, so I've done some warm-up sets. So usually I'll just work my way up to my desired weight. So my goal is 8 to 10 reps for 3 sets on this. So I just kind of recently have transitioned to a little bit higher rep range. So right now I have 135 on the bar. So 45 on each side in the 45-pound bar. But working up to that, I'll usually do only like 1 to 2 reps with the lighter weight, just getting through that pressing motion, keeping my form in check, focusing on all that. But now I'm going to show you my actual working set at 135 for 8 to 10 reps. Hopefully I don't crush my mic. So 10 reps in the books. That is my working set. I will see you for exercise number 2. Okay, time for exercise number 2. So this one is a barbell shrug. So I'm doing 225 on the bar. For this one, I like to do higher reps. Sometimes I'll do heavier weight and just go for a lower repetition goal. But right now, I have 225 on the bar. Yes, I'm going to be using lifting straps. Even though 225 isn't like an extremely heavy weight for me, I don't like to feel like at any point my form is compromised because my grip is fading. And for this one, I typically will do anywhere between 3 to 5 sets. And usually I try to aim for anywhere between 12 and 20 repetitions. So it's a very broad range for me, and it's a lot of sets. So by set 1 with 225, I could probably do it without lifting straps, without feeling like I'm going to drop it. I also don't like doing this one with a cross grip because I feel like one of my shoulders is always a little bit more rounded, and then I'm working the traps unevenly. Whereas when I have the lifting straps, I can just overhand grip it and just focus on that mind muscle connection for shrugs. So that is what we're going to be doing. So I did a couple sets already, but we are going to hit this one. We'll see how many reps I go for. My goal is always kind of like 20 reps. If I hit the 20 reps, then usually I'll add a little bit more weight to the bar and go again, because to me, that just means that I probably had a few more in the tank unless I'm really struggling to hit that 20. So that's kind of my gauge. Okay, let's increase a little bit more and then go again. So for my grip, it's going to be just outside my legs. So a nice shoulder width grip. Nice and tight to the body. Just kind of like how you would normally do like a rack pull or something along those lines. So I want it nice and tight to my body. Bring it up and then just shrug. Nothing too exciting about this exercise. Ooh. So for me, for right now, I haven't been doing shrugs very often, but 225 I feel like is like the perfect weight. Even that 20th rep, I start to feel like I'm dropping my head down to meet my shoulders to restrict that range of motion. That's something that you don't want. So you want to try to maintain that good form the whole time. So I'm not going to add any more weight to 225, and I'm just going to hit a couple more sets. But again, nothing too exciting about that exercise. So I will see you for exercise number 3. Okay, so we're on to exercise number 3. So for the shoulders, again, we are going to be doing some face pulls. So I'm doing banded face pulls. I have my barbell set up. So it's essentially like almost along my upper chest or like my collarbone line. And then I have my band. So my band is a 50-pound band. I have some nice handles on there. But all I do is take a nice step back just to get that constant tension in there. And what I do that might be a little bit different than most people. So instead of having like a straight back and just pulling it in towards my face and really squeezing that upper back, what I like to do is I kind of almost allow my shoulders to round in a little bit. And then as I pull it in, I'm keeping them kind of rounded, and I'm really squeezing those rear delts. Traps are still activating, but a lot of rear delt in this one. Do it nice and controlled. And then as well for this one, I like to hit 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. Nice breath through the motion. But I really feel this in those rear delts, which is nice. It's honestly typically a very neglected body part. A lot of people kind of forget about it. It's a little bit smaller, but if you want to see some nice growth in those delts, You got to hit the rears, really focus on that. Right. So again, I usually hit about 3 sets of that. Love this exercise, especially with the tweaks that I've made for myself. So you might feel it a lot more, doing a straight back variation. I play around with it, get myself into different positions to really hit it from different angles and just try to really focus on certain contractions. And man, that is one of the ones I love. Hits it great. But I will see you for exercise number 4. Okay, so we are on to the last exercise for the shoulders. So for this one, it's gonna be good old lateral raises. So with this one, again, I like to do about 3 sets. Rep range, usually 12 to 15 as well. So for this one, I just have adjustable dumbbells. So not a big fan. Would prefer a dumbbell rack, but you got to make it work. So for this one as well, main thing that I focus on is I don't want to be leading with my hands. So I don't want my hands to come up before my elbows. Okay. So really what I'm doing on this one is I'm pulling from my elbows and I'm raising them. So I'm really trying to focus on that elbow raise. And I feel it so much more in those delts when I do it this way. So for this one as well, on my last set usually, so on set number 3, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do strict form, raising those up. And then on the last couple, I might bring them inside a little bit and do a little bit more with some momentum to just kind of burn out the shoulders, because this is the last shoulder exercise for my shoulder workout. And I like to just kind of burn through that. I don't necessarily go to failure, because when I'm doing this, I mean, I could probably rep out an extra 10. So I still try to focus on that contraction, but I'm just getting a little bit more bounce, a little bit more momentum to just kind of force out a couple extra reps. But that is it for shoulders. We're gonna quickly hit some arms. So I don't focus a ton on arms. And I find when I do a lot of bicep exercises, it tends to flare up my elbow. So I've been kind of backing away with it. Shoulders for me, arms for me aren't like a major weak point. My arms are fairly large already. I am a bigger guy, but even when I'm lean, it's kind of one of those body parts that tends to get like, oh man, I'm completely blanking. They're hyper responder. Wow, that took me way too long, but yeah, I find my arms, they tend to respond very well to any sort of stimulation. So when I work them, they tend to respond well. So I don't do a ton of volume on these. So I'll show you what I'm going to do for biceps and then what I like to do for triceps. Again, like the way my splits kind of work, I do hit them a little bit. Like I'll hit biceps a little bit with my back workout. I'll hit triceps a little bit with my chest workout. So they're getting a decent amount of volume. But on dedicated days like this, where it's a shoulder and arm workout, I don't go crazy on the volume. But I will show you what I'm doing for my bicep. Okay. So for biceps, I'm literally doing one exercise, and it's a barbell curl. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 21s. So we're going to do 7 reps with a restricted range, 7 reps with another restricted range of motion, and then we're going to do 7 full reps. So this is how I like to do my 21s. Let me know in the comments if you do it a little bit differently. I know everybody has like a different system, but so I will hold it 90 degrees here, and I will just rep out 7. And 7. So there's my top 7. So I don't let that drop below, and I just kind of rep out those. Then I bring it all the way down, and from here I'm going to bring it up to that 90 degrees. I'm going to do another 7. So there's another 7. And then for my last 7, it's going to be a full range of motion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So as you can see, 7, 7, and 7, that's 21. So those are the 21s. So usually for this, I will do this 3 times, so 3 sets of 21s. Honestly, I usually just use the barbell. Sometimes I'll throw like 2.5s on each side, maybe 5-pounders, but it does not take much to feel that. So like already I can feel a little bit of a pump in my bicep. By set number 3, I'm definitely going to be feeling it. But that is it. Pretty simple for the biceps. We're going to move on to triceps after I do another 2 sets of this, and I'll show you what I do for that one. All right, so this is the last exercise in the workout. It's going to hit the tricep. So all I'm going to be doing, I do 1 set of this. I do 100 repetitions. I try to do as many as I possibly can at once. So essentially, I'll do as many, say I hit 30, then I'll take a little rest, jump back into it. So I take rests as needed to make sure I get all of my repetitions, but the goal is 100 reps. However way you can do it. If you got to take 20 breaks, you take 20 breaks. If you don't need any breaks, good job. You might need a little bit more resistance, but fantastic. But I love to incorporate these. I don't typically just do it for triceps, but I do love doing it for triceps. So that is what we're going to do today. So all I'm going to do, I have it wrapped around my pull-up bar a few times to increase the resistance so that even at the top here, there's some resistance kind of stretching that tricep. And then all we're going to do is extend. To 25, quarter of the way there. Okay, so taking a break, because as I was going, I noticed that I was no longer really locking out. I was kind of stopping here. So I think that was 36. And then I'm going to take a little rest, try to stretch it out a little bit. Already feel that pump. And then I'm just going to jump back into it. Whew. So that's 50. One thing I will say is even like during these rests, it's not extremely helpful because 1, I'm not taking long rests. 2, the pump is so intense at this point that once you jump back into it, you instantly just start feeling that burn, and you got to try to fight through that. So I'm halfway there. I predict I'm gonna have a few more rests in here. $65. Gonna grab a quick drink of some water. 75, 3/4 of the way. Ooh. Also, it doesn't help that I just did biceps before this, so the blood is really pumping in there. Let's go. Dang. It's been a while since I've done these two, but always feels good. Ooh. Doesn't matter if I have them hanging at my sides. The pump at this point is just so intense. All right. Dang. I just felt my muscles completely fade there. We got 7 reps left. Spitting sweat. Oh, let's go. So there's 100 reps for triceps. That is it for the shoulder and arm workout. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, peace.